keep holding my hand. I know this ain't love, but let me stay the night. I said let me stay a while. 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 I said let me stay a while.
So I just landed. I'm finally in Florida. First thing I had to do when I got my luggage was get a white monster out. I'm so happy I was able to bring 4 of these with me. I couldn't find any in the airport or anywhere I looked. And now I'm getting ready to call my Uber and heading over to the hotel.
No, I don't need a degree to know this ain't love at first sight. 'Cause I know how this works, I got my ABCs right. Oh, so let's play pretend. Say you'll be the one for me. Say you'll be the one for me forever. I know this will end tonight, but you'll be the one for me.
Good morning, everyone. Essentially today we're going to be doing some filming. I think it's for advertisements. I also don't know that much. Like, I did read the emails and things like that, but I didn't ask questions like, where is this going? What are you doing with this? Let's get rolling. I don't know how much I'm going to be filming.
I said let me stay a while. 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 And I said let me stay a
I guess I am ready as I'll ever be to tell you guys the story of what ended up happening while I was in Florida. I landed in Florida on Thursday, got an email from the producer. This is where you need to go before you're on set, get tested, have a negative result, and then you're good to go. So I went, got tested, got my negative results, and I'm all ready to go. And it's a matter of minutes before I'm about to be on set. I was notified that in between the time that I received my negative results and I needed to be on set, I was around someone who received a rapid results test that was positive. I got tested once I was home in Philadelphia on Sunday, November 29th. And a few days later, it came back with a negative result. So just to prove that throughout this whole situation, I was negative, I never contracted COVID, and I didn't think I did. I felt fine. In my contract that I signed to do this project with Orangetheory, it said, have you been exposed to anyone who tested positive in the last 14 days? Even though I got my negative results, they were wearing a mask, I was wearing a mask, they were someone that I didn't even know. So if you could imagine, how do you act around someone that you don't actually really know? You just act like a normal, hi, how are you? You know, it's not like it was someone that I knew very well where I was all up on, but I understood the rules and the facts of were you around someone. So before I went on to set, I called the producer, I said, hey, great news, I just got my negative test, but I just found out that I was around someone that was tested positive. So I don't know what that means. They told me to sit tight and go to my room, and they were gonna see if they could get someone to come to set to test me again, to have another negative result so I could continue on with the project. At this point, I was very concerned that I wouldn't be able to do the project at all. So I called one of my best friends. I was so frantic, but trying not to cry because I knew that it wasn't over yet. It was super early in the morning and I just needed another negative result to get on set. Even though I'm fully aware that it takes 3 full days to contract the virus and to test positive after being exposed to it. They still said that if I had a negative test, it would let me be on set. Time was passing and no one was coming to test me. I was messaging the producer, calling him, being so annoying in the most appropriate way, because I did travel all the way from Philadelphia to do this shoot during a pandemic, and I was literally about to not be able to do it. There was no way I was gonna just sit there and be like, oh, okay, can't do it. No, there was no way, no way. So I'm on the phone with my mom. Shout out to my mom. I think I called her 89 times that day. I need to look up the phone records. But my mom basically said, they're not gonna get someone to come and test you. That sounds very hard to do right now, especially being in Florida where the cases are rising. It just seemed taboo. After an hour of waiting for them to get someone to test me, my mom said, girl, you gotta run. You gotta go on a walk, or you gotta go on a run and get another test and bring it back. And you know, that's your only option. It was 3 miles away, so I called him and I told him what I wanted to do. He told me to sit tight. He texted me and said, yeah, go take a walk, get a negative test and bring it back. And I don't know if it was ever said, you'll definitely be on set, but let's put it this way. I wasn't doing this thinking that like it wasn't gonna work. I really thought that they just needed another negative test, even with the facts of being, takes a little while to contract. Like, so I changed my outfit, shorts, sports bra, headphones in, fanny pack, and I ran 3 miles to this COVID testing site, which was on a campus, a college campus. So I'm running. There was like highways and stuff, but I feel like that's just how Florida is. Literally ran 3 miles. Here's my chart. If you know me, you know that I don't really love running, but I was a college athlete, so we had to do so much running, and actually we did our spring training every year for an entire week in Florida. So I was channeling my inner spring training for this 3 mile run, but I was on an empty stomach because I got up at 7 in the morning to go get my first test, and I just had no appetite. And then I had a Monster, and then that curbed my appetite, and I couldn't eat, wasn't drinking enough water. So I'm literally running like a dehydrated, starved person. When I tell you I was as full force as a train, you better believe there was nothing stopping me from getting that negative test again. I get to the testing site. There's a young woman few feet in front of me, and she had a paper that I kind of needed to scan to make sure I had the account to set up, because I had already been to the testing site earlier, so I knew what to expect. I wanted to have it all set to go. So when I got up there, they scanned it and I could get my test. And I asked if I could take a little picture of that. And then we got to talking, and it wasn't even like 10 minutes into talking, I started crying. Tears were coming out of my eyes. And I just explained to her everything that happened about this whole situation. She's actually in a master's program, getting her counseling degree. And let me tell you, she's gonna be an amazing counselor one day. It was like one of those things where you're like talking and it's like tearing and you're like trying not to cry. So it's not like it was a scene and I wasn't making a scene. And we were kind of just talking amongst us. But I couldn't stop crying. I was so upset. And I did stop crying. I'm a crier. I'm just so grateful that I was able to talk to her, because that would have been a really, really long, painful wait, because I think I was there for like 45 minutes. But the craziest part about meeting this woman is she lives with her aunt and uncle right now as she's in her schooling for her master's program, and they live on the same street as Ellen, the creator of Orangetheory Fitness. And she said that Ellen puts on classes in her garage like almost every morning, and she knew all about Orangetheory, and we actually were able to connect on social media. I'm not gonna say her name, but I was able to message her and connect with her and let her know what ended up happening. Crazy that this girl, of all people to know Orangetheory, is living down the street from Ellen. Unreal. So that was really cool. Then I get up to the front of the line to get my second test, and the nurse recognizes me and she starts freaking out. She stands up, she takes off her glasses, and she's yelling at me, and she says, you changed your outfit, you were here earlier, you already got your test. Why are you back? This is a waste of a test. She's screaming at me. So I had just stopped crying like 10 minutes ago. And then I start crying again because I'm in the middle of everyone. The way it works is there's this whole line and you just stand there bored out of your mind watching everyone go up and get tested. So everyone watched me go up and get yelled at. So I'm just standing there and I just like, please let me explain my situation. I had a negative test, but I was around someone who was positive and I need another negative test to get on set again. The people that work at these testing sites are from the Army. So these Army men come up in uniform and they're like holding this nurse back as she's yelling at me, and I'm sitting there crying. I'm like, please, can I have a test? I need it. Like, looking back on it, like this story, I can't wait to be 90 years old telling like grandchildren this or something, because like this story, like looking back on it, like in the moment, like it's honestly a blur. I'm so glad that I actually wrote down the entire story that same day in my notes, and that's what I'm going off of, because it was unreal. I couldn't believe all this was happening. Maybe I'm dramatic, but this was a big deal to me. Finally, they let me get another test and I run off into the sunset. It was a flat land. So everyone at this testing site who just witnessed me crying in line and crying at the front of the table just witnessed me run away. And it's like, you could just, it was flat in Florida. It was a campus. You could just see me for like probably a mile and a half. They just got to watch me run away. I just ran away crying. Called my mom. I'm like, I got the test. I'm like not even halfway back and I get a result negative. So I tell the guy that I got a negative result and I didn't hear back from him, and then I finally did, and they told me to sit tight. And I just was like, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not gonna get to do this shoot. And at this point, it's almost 12 o'clock, no sunscreen on, nothing. It's just crazy. I was planning on being I wasn't prepared for this. There was gonna be food on set, so I wasn't prepared for any of this. And I mean, I'm like a trooper, I'll be honest, you know, but I ran 3 miles there and I ran 3 miles back, and I don't even like running, okay? So that's not even the fact of the matter. That just shows like how important this was to me. You know, like this really mattered to me. So either way, yeah, I'm looking at my chart right now, and I remember I tried to run home, but then once I got the negative result and they just weren't answering, I just started walking. So I was like, I don't even feel up for it at this point. I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm like, even if they say I can do it, I don't even want to do it. I'm so upset. Like, I don't even have the energy. Like, I just ran 6 miles. Like, I don't even run. Like, I just remember I was losing it. I was like literally about to I'm like run. Like, there's highways. I'm like, I'm about to, I was done. I was so done. And that's what happened. I did learn to find the silver lining, as I typically like to do in a lot of situations. So, you know, one thing that I do want to make clear is this is not a representation of anything to do with Orangetheory at all. There is a list of rules and regulations literally in the contract that I signed that put me in the position to not be able to be on set. I understand with me getting the second negative test was a bit of a dramatic situation. That probably is what made it seem like a bigger deal and a lot worse than what it was, because of the fact that I legitimately ran. Like, I'm not a runner. I really don't think it was that crazy, but you know, they had to go with the rules of what was on a piece of paper. They said they were on the phone with lawyers and trying to find a way around it to get me on set. All I know is I ran 6 miles that day, and I'm not gonna stop saying that. Take a shot every time you heard me say I ran 6 miles, because that's a big deal to me. Moving forward with my Florida story. The reason I don't have any vlog footage of this is because, as you could imagine, I was absolutely devastated. But this is where the rubber meets the road. I'm someone who preaches positivity, leaving the past in the past, focusing on the now, and doing what you can with what you have. That's what I preach. That was a very, very upsetting thing to happen to me right at the beginning of my trip. There's bigger things in life. Everything happens for a reason. Prior to me getting home from Florida, taking a test and receiving those negative results, the next thing that I did in a series of events in my hotel room is I called my friend Coach Ange. That's what we call her, because in a lot of my videos I call her Coach Ange, but her name is Angela. She works for Orangetheory corporate. She was a coach, then she was on the international team. Now she's coaching for a little bit. And so I had plans to hang out with her and her roommate. So I called her and I said, hey, there was a little bit of an incident that happened this morning. Let me tell you the story and you can make your own decisions, but I want to let you know that if I can't see you this weekend, we will plan another time for me to get out here and see you, and I don't want you to feel pressured to see me. And that was what I said. said. And I explained the story, and she said, you know, I really appreciate you calling me and telling me this, but I still want to go out to dinner. I still want to hang out on Sunday. You know, I've been coaching, and my roommate has been working as a pharmacist out in the pharmacies. So we have been already accepting the risk. And from hearing your story, we're not afraid to be around you. That's how I feel also, because when I went out to the bars and stuff, traveled, I was fully prepared that if I get this, I may die. I have to bunker down but fight off this sickness. And I still possibly could get this with not even being related to being in Florida. So at the end of the day, it doesn't discriminate. Anyone could have it and you could not know. And that's literally what happened to me. I'm talking to this stranger, and perfectly normal, healthy stranger. Doesn't look like they have it, but it turns out they did. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned. We gotta be kinder, we gotta be a little bit less naive, and a little bit more on guard to protect ourselves, because at the end of the day, you really only have yourself. I was able to talk with people from the producing team, and you know, they apologized, I apologized. It was both people's loss, you know? It's not like they didn't want me there. They did everything they could, and I did everything I could, but facts, laws, regulations, rules, they're on a piece of paper and they need to be followed, and we have to do what is the best thing for the entire group. That's the story. That's what happened. That is the tea. I wasn't sure if I should share this, if I could share this, but all I know is it didn't feel right if I didn't share this. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to what happened, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to never miss another Fitty Freckles video. Again, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in my next video.